Hey there folks, how you doing? I got a video to show you. This will have gameplay involved in it, but it's not so much showing off gameplay. It's showing off a device that I have. It's called the DarbeeVision Darblet Digital Video Processor, or you might see it as DarbeeVision Darblet DVP for Digital Video Processor. What it is a way for you to squeeze a little bit more picture out of your TV than you already have right now. So maybe you got your television, maybe you got the top of the line TV. Like for instance, I feel like I do. I have the Samsung, what's called PN60F 8500. So it's a plasma screen. I feel like I have something out of that. Anyway, then you get it professionally calibrated. Also, like I said, I have that as well. And then you are like, well, is that it? Is that all I can get out of it? I have the PS4 version of the game. I'm using HDMI, this and that. Now what? You can't get another TV that has more something out of it. And if you do get that TV, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. So what do? Do you settle with what you have? Sure, you can. But for a couple $100 more, you can get this DarbeeVision Darblet DVP. Now, what it is it has this algorithm embedded in it that allows you to, it finds contrasted edges, and it finds a way to sharpen those edges. Okay, so I'll show you in a bit. I'm playing through this a little bit so I can talk you through it. Where you'll see this the most in the show is with the crowd. You will see a lot more with it when it comes to the crowd getting its pop. You get a little bit more depth out of your image. I don't just use this for video games. I use it for all of my different sources. Watching TV, watching Blu-rays, watching 3D. Like I said, playing video games, maybe it's not the best one for the show. Maybe it's better for some other games, which that's true, it is. Some games have a little better elements because it shows for every part of the game and not just the crowd, for instance. And I'm not saying it's just the crowd here, but that's where you'll get the best example of what this has to offer for you. And maybe you'll be totally digging it. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't something that you'll like so much. Not like so much, but you're like, I'm not spending that much for that. And so again, the point remains that people spend a lot more for upgrades just by buying a new TV, and they could have possibly got it here. For professional calibrators, they will say, a lot of them will say, and there'll be some more video purists that say, don't destroy what's already there, but they'll say this is the last calibration tool that you'll want in your TV. So basically you calibrate it without it on, and then you flip that switch on. You find your liking to how much Darby you want out of your TV, and you go from there. So I'm about to turn it on now that I'm batting. 1 second here. So you're going to see the effect. I'm actually going to turn it on right now. Where is it? All right, I'm going to turn it on. You'll see a little thing pop in. It says Darby 75%, and you might not have seen a change right there. I'm going to turn it off and on and off, and you might be seeing a little bit of the look in what's happening there. You get a little bit difference in things that contrast, like grass blades, things like that. Other things you might not see too much pop in terms of difference, but you will see it in the crowd here in a second. So off, on, etc. And for things in the background, it really does create that nice depth effect. So I'm going to have it off for a second, and once he comes at the bat, I'll go and turn it on again. Boom. And once again, you see that difference in what the crowd is getting, more specifically in the crowd than anywhere else. Because they're the ones who have white and blue and red and green and black and orange and purple and all those different colors showing up in different fashions, and it really glows there. You'll see some different things around the field as well. You'll see it a little bit in the score ticker. You'll see it on John Lester's face a little bit as I turn it off and on. But I'll play with this a little bit for you. There's a demo mode I can also use where you can see side by side, but you can also see a scrolling effect as well right here, where you'll see back and forth. And you get to see the Darby go to work. Of course, it's harder when it's not a still image, but again, you look in the background and you say, hey, you know, that's pretty nice. Look at the grass blades, in fact. Not the blurred grass blades here. I can go to replay and show you them. See the umpire get a little bit more. So, you know, I'm just touting something that you might want to look at. These grass blades, they turn off and on. You see, again, this is the effect that it gives for this thing. So any sort of edges that there are get a little bit more pop out of them. And depending on what you're looking at, you know, depending on the image, you'll appreciate it more. And sometimes you won't appreciate it as much. For instance, if I go to Lester here, you might not get as much out of him as you would something else. A little bit more washed away on one end, then you quote-unquote lift the veil off of the image, and that haze is gone. Look at the umpire in the background. Look at, I don't know if that's Fowler or somebody in the background out there. And it's probably something that, you know, if you do like it, then you'll really start to appreciate it. If you don't like it, then you probably won't buy it. Anyway, so there's more from the crowd right there as I keep going over. Again, stiller images are probably easier for you to appreciate more. But like I said, I use it for Blu-ray. Now you see a percentage there. It says 75%. That's how much of the quote-unquote Darby effect that I am using on my image. And for animated content, specifically video games or animated films, such as Pixar films, I like to go up to about 75%. Same with 3D films as well. It doesn't matter if it's real, like live action or not. Now, for actual footage, for actual film, things captured in film, I like to use around 50%. I like it to be a little more subtle. And that little bit of pop really does matter for me. It does do a little bit more to your TV, and you're like, you know what, I really like this. And the bigger your screen is, the better off it is. So while this is going to be uploaded on YouTube, you're probably not going to get as much out of it as you'd like, especially because it's compressed, and you're probably looking at it on a smaller screen, probably around 15 inches. Whereas you can have a 60-inch screen or a 100-inch screen or whatever else, and you might appreciate the difference more. So that's kind of the point behind it, or, you know, like that's what I'm talking about with it. Yeah. So I'll play a little bit more. I'll let you see a little bit more of what it's doing. Again, it is side-scrolling, so that kind of helps. And I'll play with the effect a little bit more as well. I'll show you what an example is of having more of an effect and why it's probably more unwanted. So as I crank it up, you can go in increments of 5. You can also fine-tune it more to 1% each time. Like I said, for me, 75 is fine. Now this goes up to 120. For me, 75 is fine for gaming. You can see why I probably don't like it so much in 120. It gets a little, I wouldn't say artificial, but it gets a little too smudged for me. There's a little bit too much of the effects that I just don't so much like for gaming. You might not like it, and you might like it here, but if you watch like actual TV, you might not like it there. You might see what I mean by, it's not as good. There are other presets that you can use. I'm using one called High Def. It's the one I like the most. There's another one called Gaming, which sometimes I'll use for games. The only problem is there are some unwanted things, even at 75%, that I don't like. When I turn on the gaming one, you'll see, as I turn it on, you'll get a little more pop of things, but you can see at 120% why it's really not appreciated as much. Now you can see the crowd really getting a boost. That doesn't mean that it's a wanted boost at 120%. There's another one called Full Pop. You're going to like this one, or you're going to hate this one, is how much you're going to like this one. I'm going to turn it on after this pitch here. Full Pop is, I really don't like the Full Pop look, especially at 120. Here we go. Full Pop. Oh, no. Oh, do not want, get away. So you can, once again, you can see what the effect does in different things. I like to go to gaming, or to high def. Here's high def at 120%. A lot less of, and you know, at 120 it's not bad, but I like 75. I like more of the subtle look. I'm not going through 75%, more of the subtle look. And like I said, I'll try it with gaming as well. I'll show you what it looks like at 75% for gaming. I'll show you where some things do kind of pop up though that you might not like with it. So I'll go to replay here in a second. So let's focus on somebody. I don't know, maybe if I focus on Lester again. You might see some things that pop up. Like, take a look around his head. You'll see a little bit of a brim, of a halo effect around the brim of his hat. Now, this is on high def, not on gaming, but you'll see it a little bit more on gaming when it blends in with the background. This is at 75%. When I go in gaming, you'll see right there, you see how it glows a little bit more around him? It's a little bit more smudged. So I don't really like it as much here. The effect isn't as wanted, although you do get more pop. So maybe if you can ignore that stuff, maybe you'll like it a little bit more. I don't know. So again, this is on gaming. Let me turn off demo mode. So off, on, off, on. With gaming, it's not bad. Oh, it's at 70%, not 75. I got the base hit stick going. I'm gonna challenge him. I am going home, and he is safe. Let's go back to high def one more time. So let's go to gaming versus high def. Let's check that out. So high def. Let's go 75 again. Gaming. Again, you can kind of see a few things change. Gaming. High def. Gaming. High def. Gaming. So you'll probably take gaming with games as long as it doesn't create those things or you don't see them pop up too often. So I'm fine playing with it like this. It looks good. Again, off and on. You'll get a little more of an effect pumped out. I'm going to fast forward to like later innings and see if nighttime you can see a little bit more of it, because maybe the crowd is, you know, lit a little bit more. And that works just as well because I hit into a double play. So let's go to night. I'm going to turn it off first so you get the sense of, all right, here's with it off. Let's fast forward to 8th inning. And I want to keep batting with it only so you can kind of see the crowd a little bit more, or I'll bat as the Cubs even. Okay, so here's nightcap, off, on. So once again, you do get that, you know, you get a little more pop out of it. I do kind of like it. I'm going to go back to high def, though, where I think I'll like it more. Off, on, off, on. So it's that last little bit that you can squeeze out of your picture, out of whatever's calibrated and all that, what you want out of it, right? You can get something out of it, and you can go for it, and you might like it. So it's on and off again. You really feel like when it's off that, you know, there is something missing. It's a little soft. It's a little blurred. Oh, there we go. Someone not turned on the lights, but someone lifted away the hazy screen. You know what I mean? Well, Lynn is still pitching, huh? He's doing pretty well, but Bryant is doing better. Oh, I just swung to swing. Off, on, off, on, off, and on. And I don't know, you know, like even if I go to my menu here, let's see if things change over here, if there are things that you might like more off and on. If you look at the background, and that's the show background, off and on. Anything with text? No, nothing really changes with text there, but once again, you can see the off and on. Just trying to look at different things that you might be able to, I don't know, see with it, you know, what the effect actually does. I can't show you a movie, unfortunately, because of the HDCP chip. In the PS4, it wouldn't show the film. And there'll probably be copyright protections on YouTube, so I don't want to show you that as well. But anyway, you're getting the idea. This video is probably overstaying its welcome. But, I don't know. You know, maybe I sold you on it. Maybe you're like, you know, I want to give this a try. This is something that looks kind of cool. This is something that I want in my image. You know, it was certainly something I wanted in my image, and it wasn't because of gaming, honestly. It was because of Blu-rays. That curveball. It's because of Blu-rays. I think they look better. Now, this is not, you know, once again, this is not to be a substantial difference. It's to be a subtle difference. It is. It's to be that little bit. And some people that you have who come to your house and watch movies with you, or your wife or girlfriend or, you know, roommate or whatever, they might say something like, did you do something different to the picture? They actually might notice. It's a tiny difference that does make a difference, though. Or if you take it away, they might say something like, dude, what'd you do to the picture, man? It's not as sharp as it used to be. Now, again, the bigger the, let's see, how do I say it? The bigger the screen, the sharper the image is already, and the cleaner the source is, meaning if I watch this with 300, you know how it has that film grain? If I watch it with 300, it's probably, I'm probably not going to like what I have there, because the film grain has the different specs of contrast difference, and they're going to create it with those specs. The algorithm's not going to work as well for it. So the cleaner the image, which is why I was talking about animated content being better for like using, more percentage out of it, boosting it more to 75%. The more that you do with it, let me go to demo again. The cleaner the image is, the better off you are with it. So if you have your screen calibrated already, your image will be quote unquote cleaner. I think that'll help. So, as I said, different games will work better. Grand Theft Auto might work better. Batman might work better with this, only because you're having a lot more in the picture to use. But I wanted to show you with the show, because I'm showing this on a forum that plays it. So anyway, like I said, this thing is overstaying its welcome by far. I am going to sign off. So I hope you enjoyed it. Really, I hope you do. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. All right.